Namo Phat, good morning. Thank you for joining me for our daily practice check-in. Listen, listen, listen. This beautiful sound calls us back to our true home. The third mindfulness training. Aware of the suffering caused by sexual misconduct, I vow to cultivate responsibility, learn ways to protect the safety and integrity of individuals, couples, families, and society. I'm determined not to engage in sexual relations without love and a long-term commitment. To preserve the happiness of myself and others, I'm determined to respect my commitments and the commitments of others. I will do everything in my power to protect children from sexual abuse and to prevent couples and families from being broken by sexual misconduct. This morning we're beginning a section on the awakening factor of rapture in Ajahn Thiradhammo's book, Working with the Five Hindrances. Formally speaking, rapture, PT, is one of the qualities of the meditative absorptions. However, lesser forms of rapture, bliss, or joy may arise from either inspiration, insight into the teachings, or some forms of concentration. The path of purification, translating it as happiness, distinguishes 5 kinds from minor to pervasive, with the 4th, uplifting, capable of causing levitation. The perversive variety is a factor of absorption. One of the most common sources of spiritual energy for many Buddhists is inspiration, which usually comes from their devotion and faith. Some people gain inspiration from the example of the Buddha or their own spiritual teacher. Some are inspired by the truth of the Buddhist teaching or their own insights into Dharma. Others gain inspiration from the Sangha or community of practitioners, either the lineage of previous awakened disciples or those diligently practicing today. The Pali Canon mentions the rapture that comes from the meditative recollection of the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, one's own virtuous behavior, one's own generosity, and the celestial beings. At the time of devoted recollection, the unwholesome qualities of lust, aversion, and delusion do not obsess the mind, as it is straight and focused on the theme. From this gladness arises, followed by rapture, tranquility, happiness, and concentration. Personally, I distinguish 2 kinds of inspiration, one which inclines toward encouragement and one which inclines towards admiration or worship. Take, for example, the life of the Buddha. If we view it, interpret it, understand it in one particular way, it can hopefully lead to encouragement. From an historical perspective, there was this person who lived 2,600 years ago, a human being just like you and I, who through his own spiritual striving could realize awakening. Isn't that encouraging? Well, maybe we have a long way to go, but at least it is encouraging to know that a human being like you and me can also become enlightened. However, we can also view it in a different way. For example, in terms of the miracles surrounding the Buddha's birth, the auspicious dreams his mother had before he was born, and all his special physical qualities and mental qualities. Then the most we can do is admire, maybe worship him. I'm down here on the ground, and he's up there in enlightenment. This might even discourage you or put you off Buddhist practice. Well, it's impossible for me. This guy is a superhuman being. This, unfortunately, is how some people think. They put the Buddha on such a high pedestal that he becomes out of reach. However, for some people it can still be inspiring that there is a spiritual hero, and through their devotion they can develop various wholesome qualities. While it is, of course, not easy to become a self-awakened Buddha, it is still possible to become a fully awakened arahant if we follow his teachings. Also, it can be helpful to keep in mind that coming across the teachings of a Buddha is very rare, so we should not waste this opportunity, as it may not occur again anytime soon. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thanks for joining me today.